I hesitate to bring up this subject because I don't want you to think I'm a nut. But I would like to have a discussion about it because there's something to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what these rods, these are some that I made just recently. The next video is going to be how I made these, and I'm going to show you some videos of me using these and my brother-in-law using these. But I also want to tell you some stories that I think will kind of perk your interest. But I don't know what it is to it, but these rods react to something. And if you've ever used them and had them react, you know you didn't cause it. Something else caused it. And you don't have to make anything fancy like this. You can. This part is just a piece of brass brazing rod, and you just bend it at 90 degrees and hold it in your hands. If you hold it too tight, they won't move. But there's a lot of videos out there on the internet of showing you how to use them. And there's if you look up on the internet and you Google dowsing or witching or divining or any of those kind of things, you get a lot of crazy stuff out there, y'all. But anyway, let me just tell you a little bit about my experience with this. And the first time I ever, well, not heard of it, but saw it work was when I had my well drilled years ago, 30-something years ago. And the man that came, he was an older man, and he said, I don't know. Well, he first said, where do you want your well? And I said, well, over there would be handy, And he said, well, did you have it witched or doused or whatever, And I said, no. I'm thinking, why in the world would I do something like that? And he said, well, all I can tell you is, he said, I don't know what it is to it. He said, I don't know if these rods react to water or certain formations in the ground that carry water or what. He said, but what I can tell you is that when people have done that and show me this is where I want it, he said, we have a better success rate. And in my area, water's kind of hard to find. But anyway, so he had some rods. He said he couldn't do it. He said, I've tried before and it doesn't seem to react for me. And so apparently there's some people can, some people can't. I don't know how that works. But anyway, so he had me do it. And it was really kind of weird because I'm holding these and I'm walking and suddenly they swing together and they cross and then when I walk past it, they open back up. It's the weirdest thing, y'all. And so he had me walk this way, and we marked the spot where it came, and then come walk this way until we found a spot and kind of came at it different angles. And so that's the spot we're going to drill, and we hit water. Now, we could have hit water anyway, so that doesn't really mean anything. But that was my first introduction to it. And so when my brother-in-law moved out, he did the same thing, and he got the rods and he tried it and it worked, and they drilled there and they hit water. Okay, so again, another story that we could have hit water anyway. All right, so my brother-in-law has actually spent more time messing with it than I have, but and he's better at it than I am. He gets better results. But here's a couple of stories that changed my way of thinking on it. Okay, so a couple of years ago, my mother had a water leak in her water pipe from the road to her house. And we had installed that pipe, and it's a slip joint PVC pipes, and so we figured, well, it's leaking at one of those slip joints. So here's a video of me walking this, and just to show you how long and the terrain and how hard this was to kind of figure out. And we even, you'll see, we put bricks, marked with bricks every joint as we went, because it's basically every 10 feet we had to dig it up and check the joint, and we were there for 2 or 3 days. And anyway, we finally gave up. We're like, we can't find it, we're just going to have to lay a new pipe. And my brother-in-law said, well, let me go get my rods, my dowsing rods, and see what it does. He was laughing about it and I was laughing. And we were, okay, well, it's worth a try, we'll give it a try. We had tried stethoscopes, listening to the pipe and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so he went and got them. And he walked the length of that pipe, y'all, and nothing. He comes to the far end of it, and they cross over. And so we hadn't checked just stupid, but we hadn't checked the very end where we tied the copper pipe into the PVC, which had been the first place we looked, but we didn't. And anyway, so boom, it crossed. We dug down. It was leaking a pretty good, spray. And in 15 minutes we had found the leak. In an hour we had fixed it and the job was over. We could have saved ourselves 2 days' time. Okay, so that was pretty miraculous. I mean, we had no idea where it was. He walks along, boom, it crosses right there. Now, all you can do is just believe me that that actually happened. Now, so why am I talking to you about it now? Well, about 2 months ago, my brother-in-law had a leak at his house. He's had a lot of leaks at his house, but anyway, here's a video of his property and for where the water runs from, and it runs up the hill and to his house and all that. So that's just to give you an idea again that this isn't a 10-foot pipe. This is hundreds of feet of pipe. So anyway, he worked for a couple of days trying to find it. He checked, where he had tied into the pipe and all this and couldn't find it. And so he's like, well, it worked over at my mother-in-law's house, so I'm going to get the rods out. And he did, and he walks his pipe. And when he walked it, boom, it crossed over. And now we live on in a mountainous kind of territory, so water doesn't pool, So when it's leaking, and it's also rocky and shale and all this kind of stuff, so when it leaks, a puddle doesn't form. It just seeps into the ground, it's gone, and you can't look for a wet spot to find a leak. So again, he's just walking down, and boom, it crosses over, he digs down. 10 minutes later, he's found his leak and was able to get it fixed. So, y'all, there's something to this. I don't know what it is. So now I'm going to show you some video of my brother-in-law and me using these rods, just to give you an idea of how they work. We tried like laying a hose out and walking across that hose to see if it mattered whether it was running or full of water or what, and it didn't really work very well because he said, well, there's another line running down here. So anyway, look at this video just to show you more of how the rods react. Not necessary, because we're not going to dig and find anything for you in these videos, and because there's nothing to find but a water pipe. And the other stories you're just going to have to believe it happened. I take my word for it because I don't have any way to prove that to you. But anyway, let me show you those videos of us using the rods.
I thought it was running through here, so it's not. I would dig there. I don't know, I'm getting something there. Could be. We'll go back, I have to go back over it. These are really loose. Here's where I had that leak that time, and I walked down the line to find the leak. Just like this. No leak. Yeah, yay! I'm not even looking at the ground.
Well, it hit
I know, that was it.
as you went across it.
It's right there. And that's it. I mean, that's it. Yeah, same spot right there. That's it. Right up here.
Okay, so that's the examples of us using the rods. You heard my anecdotal or my stories about what we've experienced over the years. So I would be interested to know if any of you have had, I'd like to kind of just get a discussion going on, is there a truth to this? I really don't want to get off in crazy land too much if we can keep from that, but I really would be interested to know if anybody has any stories of when this has worked for them like this, where you had no idea where it was, there was no, and then boom, there it is, and it shows the problem for you. Or if anybody has found, I'd really be interested if anybody's found any kind of scientific studies that have been done on this that show something to it. Because I know there's some studies out there that say there's nothing to it. It's no more than an accident finding these things. But if you've ever had this work for you like I have, there's something. And I would just kind of like to know what it is. Anyway, I hope this was entertaining to you, and I hope you don't think I'm a nut. Anyway, thank you for watching.